Advanced Financial Modeling, Topic 23, International Corporate Finance by Lou Gaddis. References include Benninga's Chapters 3, 4, and 6. In this topic, we're going to interpret and use exchange rates, calculate currency appreciations, forecast exchange rates, hedge FX transactions, and value international projects and investments. So let's get on to Section 1. We're going to interpret and use currency quotes to convert FX transactions. So this is one of my favorite commodities in the world. It's called a Starbucks latte, and the price is about $3.30 for the small. That's a direct quote for an American, $3.30 for one latte. Now, if I inverted that price, take 1 over 330, that's about 30 cents. So when I buy a latte, what I'm really doing, I'm trading dollars for lattes, and the latte is quoted as in dollars. But I also can invert it and talk about the latte price of $1. So I could say I'm exchanging 1.303 lattes for $1 US. That's an indirect quote for an American, 0.3 lattes per dollar. So a direct quote for an American would be any quote in which it's a dollar price of a good. Lattes, luckily, are always quoted in direct terms. Here's another one of my favorite commodities in the world. It's called a euro. It buys me lots of things I like. So the price of a euro is about $1.10. That's a direct quote for an American for this commodity called a euro. Now you can also invert that and take 1 over 110 and say, in this case you're exchanging euros for dollars, so you can say that it's 0.909 euros per 1 US dollar. That's an indirect quote. That's the euro price of $1 instead of the dollar price of a euro. Now the euro is usually quoted in direct terms, luckily, just like lattes. And along with 3 other currencies, they're generally always quoted in direct terms, are the Australian dollar, also called the Aussie, the British pound, and the New Zealand dollar, often called the Kiwi. Here's another commodity I enjoy, a Danish crown or krone. It sells for about 16 cents or 0.16 US dollars. That's a direct quote for an American, 16 cents for 1 krone. Now you can also invert that and say it 1 over 16 cents and say it's 6.25 krone is the price of 1 US dollar. This would be an indirect quote for an American. The direct quote would be 16 cents per crown or krone. Now, unfortunately, in the world, the krone is usually quoted in this weird indirect term. And actually, all the currencies besides the 4 we mentioned on the last slide are generally done in this indirect quote, meaning the foreign currency price of 1 US dollar versus, say, the dollar price of one foreign currency. So my direct quotes, the euro, the Aussie, the British pound, and the Kiwi, and indirect quotes are generally all the other ones. Another thing you have to keep track of is when you're given a quote, someone just tells you that the price of a euro is 108, and the price of a yen is 119, and the price of a Canadian is 120, you need to figure out whether they're talking about the foreign price of the currency, or the foreign price of a dollar or a dollar price of a foreign currency. In other words, are they giving you a direct or indirect quote? Here's how you always can figure that out. You'll always see in any exchange rate, if you Google EUR USD, right now, as of today, it's about $1.10, $1.09, $1.10. And if you Google that, what you're going to get is this quote. Now, how do I know this is a direct quote? Well, the way that works on all the websites and financial services is you're always going to be given 2 currency codes. Now, every currency in the world has a 3-character currency code. The euro is the EUR, the dollar is the USD. The GBP is the pound, the JPY is the yen. There's your Aussie dollar. There's your Canadian dollar. CHF, that's a hard one. That's a Swiss franc. And then again, here is your Aussies and yen and so on. So if I see a price that starts off with EUR, what that's about to tell you is you're about to get the price of a euro quoted in the second currency. So I know that this is the price of a euro quoted in dollars. So it's $1.08 per euro. Now let's look at some other euro quotes. Let's go down here. The EUR GBP. So this is the price of a euro quoted in British pounds. So it's 0.71 pounds per euro. And this is the yen price of a euro. So it's 129 yen to buy a euro. So These are all prices of the euro quoted in either the dollar, the pound, or the JPY. When you see the foreign currency listed first, then USD, you're going to get a direct quote. So this is the dollar price of the euro, the dollar price of the pound, the dollar price of an Aussie. But this one here, this is always confusing because the price of a CAD, the Canadian dollar always goes from say 0.8 to 1.2 as the exchange rate. So you're never really sure if you're looking at a direct or indirect quote. Now the CAD, the Canadian dollar, is generally quoted in indirect terms. So how I'd know that is you're about to get the price of a dollar, $1 US, quoted in the second currency. So this is actually the CAD price of a dollar. It's 1.2 Canadian per dollar. And this, the CHF, that is the Swiss franc. This is the Swiss franc price of $1 US. So it's 0.95 Swissies to buy $1. And right here, here's the USD JPY. This is the price of a dollar quoted in yen. So it's 119 yen to buy $1 US. So that's how you always figure this out. And easy way, if you need an exchange rate, just Google it. You just put in the two codes, smash them together. Just Google EUR USD, you'll get about 109, 110 today. But if you were to Google USD first, so USD EUR, what you'd wind up is getting roughly 1 over this number, about 0.9, because what you're asking for is the indirect quote for the euro. Now, to convert a currency, you always take some amount of currency times an exchange rate, and it gives you the other exchange currency. So I'm trying to figure out, I want to exchange US dollars, 100 US dollars, and I want to get CAD. So how do I know? And I'm told the exchange rate is 105 CAD per dollar. So the CAD per dollar exchange rate, it costs 1.05 CAD to buy 1 US dollar. So here's how I set this up every single time. So the question is, how many CAD do I get for $100? I'm going to write down the currency you know. I'm told I have $100 and I want to figure out how many CAD to get. So I need an exchange rate. So it's either going to be CAD over dollar or dollar over CAD. The handy way to think about it is if I put CAD over dollar, in some sense these kind of cancel out, right? And the currency that goes forward is the CAD. So I know this is the CAD per dollar because it says USD-CAD. It's the CAD price of a dollar. So I'm going to multiply 100 times 105 and get 105 CAD. Now, what if the question said, how many US dollars will you get for 100 Canadian? Well, in that case, I put 100 Canadian times some exchange rate equals dollars. Now, the exchange rate I need for these to cancel out is I need Canadian on the bottom and dollars on the top. So I'm going to put the dollar price of a CAD. This is the CAD price of a dollar, so I got to flip it. So I'm going to multiply it times 1 over 105, or just take 100 divided by 1.05 and get 95. So that's how we always exchange one, or try to calculate how much one currency is worth in another. Last thing we do before we do a practice problem is cross rates. Suppose you want to buy 100 crown, Danish crown, and sell pounds. How many pounds will it cost? All right, and so assume you're an American here, so you're trying to figure out what's this cost. You know, what the exchange rate you're going to need, right? If I'm trying to figure out 100 crown equals how many pounds, I need a pound per crown exchange rate. That way these crowns will cancel out and a pound will go forward. So I need a pound per crown exchange rate right here. How do I get a pound per crown exchange rate when, as an American, I'm not given this? Everything is quoted in dollars. Well, what I'm going to need, if everything's quoted in dollars, I'm going to need pounds on the top and crown on the bottom. Again, kroner, I'm just using the word crown. That's what they usually call them when you're over there. I need a pound over dollar times a dollar over crown. These cancel out, and that'll give me a pound per crown exchange rate. So that's how I do a cross rate. I figure out what exchange I need, and then I know here that I need pounds on the top and crowns on the bottom. I fill in with the common currency, the dollar for an American, and I just multiply that by these two exchange rates. So let's do a little practice problems before we end this section. I'm going to go to a spreadsheet, and I'm going to do these two problems here. How many dollars will it cost to buy 100 euros? Well, I'm going to type in 100 euros, and what I need is a dollar per euro exchange rate in 2019. That is a dollar per euro exchange rate. How many euros would it cost to buy $100 in 2019? Well, $100 times, $100 times, now this is dollars, so I need a euro over dollar exchange rate. Well, I actually got to flip this because this is a dollar over euro exchange rate, or dollar price of a euro. So how much would it cost to buy 100 euros? $100, $110. How many euros would it cost to buy $100? 90 euros. And then this problem's already done for you. How many dollars would it cost to buy 100 yen? Well, this is yen. So I need a dollar price of a yen to multiply. This is not the dollar price of a yen, it's a yen price of a dollar, so I'm going to flip it. So it would cost me $9.35 to buy 1,000 yen. How many JPY would it cost to buy 100 USD? Well, I'm sorry, 1,000 USD. Here's my 1,000 USD. I need a yen per over dollar exchange rate to convert that to yen. This is a yen over dollar exchange rate, so I just multiply it. So in this section, we interpret it and use currency exchange rates to convert FX transactions.